Bonjour, folks. I hope you are well. Welcome. It's a studio vlog day. Exciting day today. Also, I'm a little bit nervous. We are starting advent dyeing for the daily advent calendars. All of my yarn arrived yesterday for the daily advent calendars. I haven't yet ordered it for the weekly ones. I chipped my nail this morning. It's very sad. I haven't yet ordered it for the weekly ones because I wanted to get this put away first. But yes, it was pricey. But yeah, now I've got to find space to put it all away in the dye shed and then finally start dyeing. I'm very excited. Today is May, the 24th of May. I was saying the date in a weird order. I've not had a tea yet this morning and I'm not feeling it. I'm doing all right at the minute. That's going to come back to bite me on the bum at some point. But yeah, going to put a load of washing on, going to go down the dye shed, prep mini skeins and then put all the mini skeins away. So then it can be soaking while I'm putting stuff away. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So when I went out yesterday evening, Mario brought the boxes down for me because they're about 24 kilos each. It's a lot of yarn. And I mean, 24 kilos for me isn't that heavy. I can lift it. But, oh my goodness, there's a bird going ballistic. The fact they're so big, it's awkward. So I just asked Mario if he wouldn't mind. I mean, I asked if he'd help me bring them down. And then he just did it anyway because he's an angel. So yeah, I'm going to get some on to soak first and foremost because then that can be doing that. And then I will, yes, I've sold 116 daily advents this year. I'm going to be dyeing up 128 in total. I've organised a swap with a couple of people and then I have some extras because it's always good to have some extras that I can either sell at a later date or if any go missing like they did last year, I can send them out. And yeah, good times all around. So this is arguably, for me, one of the worst parts of dyeing up mini skeins. The sturdy sock mini skeins come all twisted up like this, which is delightful. And the ties are really tight, so I have to go through each individual one, loosening the ties. You will see in a minute that I tried to do it the way that other people do it and gather them up and then thwack them because they say thwacking loosens the ties. It didn't loosen them enough for me to feel comfortable. I attempted a thwack and it wasn't, see, I thwack. It wasn't what I thought no. So I then went back and loosened them. Because I'm dyeing up jewel tones this year, I don't want there to be any patches of white if I can avoid it. So I try my best to avoid it best I can by loosening each of the 3 ties on each of the mini skeins. I could do maths and work out how many mini skeins are going to be loosening, but you might see this a fair few times in future videos. I won't lie because yeah, I've got to do 24 days of these 128 times, which is, you know, the most fun, but it's fine. In previous years, I've also used some of the mini skeins ready twisted, so then I didn't have to do as many. Also, I like the look of the white space, but I don't think I can get away with it for this advent because of the jewel tones aspect of it. I don't want a lot of white space. So I've made my job more difficult this year, which is always fun when I've sold more advents than I've ever sold before, but it's okay. This is why we're getting an early start, because then there's no surprises. Getting a nice early start, got plenty of time to do it, and yeah, so this is just what my life's going to be like for all future dye days from now on. So I am now packing away all of the mini skeins in the available space that I have in the dye shed. This is just the yarn for the daily advents. I haven't yet ordered the yarn for the weekly advents. I don't think I have space to store the yarn right now until I get a few of the daily advent colorways dyed. So those individual packs of mini skeins that you can see, each one has 25 mini skeins in. So I ordered 128 of those packs because I will then have some left over, and that's how many advents I'm dyeing. And there's 24 mini skeins in an advent, so I'm just going to have 128 mini skeins left over. That's fine. They can be used in the weekly advents and the like, and just sock sets in general, in all fairness. But they're very confusing to order, mini skeins, because you order by the kilo and each pack is half a kilo. So they can be very confusing to order because you're counting how many packs you need when actually you need to count how many kilos you need. So you just half the amount that you need. It's lovely. You can just work it out that way, just in case you get stuck. Then, yeah, it's just a bit of a headache. And then I also have the 100-gram skeins as well, and all sorts. I've got way too much yarn. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get all of these twisted and how I'm going to get all of this done, but we have to rearrange the shelves. We have to make it work. It's one of those things. Advent time! So I typically dye the Advent minis in packs of 4. Previous years when I've done this, I've laid them all out in the tray individually, and I mean, that works fine. It's a very time-consuming way of doing it, which, I mean, has been okay in previous Advents. But when I did the, which collection? One of the collections, my last collection, what was that? DM's Library, that was what it was called. I dyed them like this, and they actually worked really well and got pretty even speckles throughout and all of that fun stuff. So yeah, I've just got to make sure that it's all covered and everything is as it should be. But in my experience, bunching them like this does also work just as well as laying them out in the tray, if not better, because everything's a little bit more spread out. I found when I used to lay it in the tray, I'd get way too many speckles. It would be too much. If they'd spread, it would be, yeah, more uneven. But doing it this method, not only quicker, but also quite convenient. Hello. It's gone noisy. So, first 2 trays are on. I was very nervous about dyeing up jewel tones because I know a lot of people who haven't bought from me before have bought this Advent because they love jewel tones, which is wonderful and lovely and great because we've got the same taste in colourways. But I don't, although saying that, I have been leaning more towards dyeing jewel tones recently, so maybe I need to stop being so hard on myself. But it's like, it takes me back to university, which is now 10 years ago since I graduated. How? Anyway, and yeah, writing an essay was always the worst. So, as in starting to write an essay. So I would start like a paragraph in and then come back and do the intro later. Can't do that with Advents. But the thought of dyeing them was a little stressful. So I've just taken a leap and grabbed a bunch of dyes that I think will go well together. We've got, using quite a lot of Dharma, Spearmint Breeze. We've got Colourcraft Jade. We've got Dharma Forest Green and a little bit of True Black. Only you don't know how I've used them. So while it's a small spoiler of the colourways I'm doing, or the colourway that I've dyed up today, it's not an actual spoiler because you don't know how I've used them. But yeah, this is the worst part of dyeing yarn. Dyeing Advents specifically. Doing it right now, not too bad. I'm not in too much of a rush to get them done. It's when it gets later on down the line. But luckily this year I don't also have Yarndale to prep for. That was the flaw to last year. When all I wanted to do was dye Advents, I had Yarndale to prep for. Then the year before I was getting this kitted out. So I was really behind then because the year before that was lockdown time and it was my first ever Advent and they were all done by the beginning of October and they went and it was lovely. So let's continue trying to put all that energy into it and see if I can get them done early October. At least the daily ones, because I don't think I've got space to pack both the daily ones and the weekly ones and send them all off at once. I don't think I've got room for that. So which is why I asked them to place in separate orders, because I physically do not have the house space. I don't even think I've got the space now to put the yarn in. So yeah, it's a fun time. I'm listening to music. I'm listening to Volbeat, which I've now realised, a bit embarrassing. I'm wearing a Volbeat t-shirt, so I'm looking like their #1 fan today. So the washing's hung out. I've got the first load of yarn out. I'm about to rinse the second load of yarn. I was going to try to do 2 colourways today. One, I'm losing momentum, I won't lie. You can go back outside. Thank you. Flies. Yes, that's fine. That's not a problem. I can work through momentum. But my accountant has just emailed me. I have an accountant now. If you're not in the Biscuit Brew crew, you won't know this. I have an accountant now. It's very exciting. She's emailed me to ask what stock I had in stock April the 5th. Now, I've never done a stock take for my business before. It's not been a thing that I needed to worry about. I'm needing to worry about it this year. So, yeah, I need to work backwards now, because I had my post East Anglia Yarn Festival shop update on the 13th of April, which means all of the leftover yarn that I had from East Anglia Yarn Festival is stock that was in stock that I had the 5th of April. So I need to do some very intense maths and work out how many skeins I had, because it was a lot of yarn. So I need to go through my Shopify and work out how many I had. Oh my goodness, how stressful, but also how exciting is this wall of yarn. It's too much yarn, but it's very exciting. I need a bigger Kallax unit. I don't have space for a bigger Kallax unit. I don't have space. So yeah, it's all happening. It's all very exciting. By the end of the day, I will have one day dyed up. It's only like 12:30. It's lunchtime. That's why I'm losing momentum. But I want to rinse this yarn, get this next pan on, and then I can go and get lunch and do maths, and then come out and then rinse again once they've like cooled and everything. Because yeah, and then I can come back out on Friday and try to bust out 2 colourways then. I just want to really get a head start on this. I really want to get a head start on my advents this year, and the fact that I've only dyed up 1 colourway today does not bode well, but that's fine. I've moved on to, from Shopify, I'm listening to the radio now. I've turned on Radio Bob, which is a German classic rock radio station, because I realised my German's gone downhill quite a lot and I want to try and claw some back. So I'm going to do some passive German listening, not active German listening, and see if it like reignites something in my brain. Because for those that don't know, I studied German and French at university, and I lived in Germany for 2 years. Well, 2.5 years technically, because I also lived in Germany before that. But I lived in Frankfurt for 2 years with my husband. And yeah, it was fantastic and amazing, and I've not been back since, and I really, really miss it. But yes, I'm trying to get my German back. I think you're going to like this first colour. I'm hopefully you're going to like all of the colours, but I love this one. Oh, I'm so excited! I just realised I need to do a stock take for all of these dyes as well. Oh my god. Okay folks, it's lunchtime. I have made a brief start on my stock take of yarn that I currently have here. And then I need to work out what yarn I've ordered, what yarn I sold for May Yarn Club, and just kind of fill it in. This is going to be awful, but that's fine. It's not fine. It's 1:30, so I can very easily have got another day dyed today, so that's good to know, because this was, what, 3 hours of dyeing? But I really need some lunch, because I'm really hungry now, and I need to do a stock take. So I'm just going to be sat at the computer in the nice cool front room, but I'm going to eat lunch, then come back, rinse these, hang them out to dry, because the washing's already almost dry. It's only been out an hour, so oh, I love it, I love it. Let me fill you in. All yarn rinsed, ready to dry. It's outside dry. Sun disappeared. Mario's had 4 boxes of pie cases delivered from the US, because we don't tend to do deep dish fruit pies here, so he needs to buy them, or sweet pies, he tends to buy them from the US, and we've only just had a delivery of them. So I asked him what, and yeah, they've sent him 1,000 extra pie cases. Now these boxes are incredibly battered, so whether they got lost when they were first shipped, so they just sent out more, I don't know. They're very battered. So Mario wondered why he paid customs, or had to pay customs twice. That would be why. So I'm on the computer, this is the computer place, go through Shopify. I've eaten some lunch. I had potato waffles with egg, with a fried egg on. And I did the potato waffles in the toaster because, you know, it says on the box you can do them in the toaster. I won't be doing them in the toaster again. Not worth it. They didn't go crunchy at all. Crispy. A bit disappointing lunch. But I did have some pineapple after it, so that was delightful. I'm just procrastinating. I'm trying really hard not to do this, but I have to, so I'm just going to get started on it, I think. So, I've stared into the abyss a little bit because I was very overwhelmed, and then Mario was like, just approximate stuff, like, it doesn't have to be exact, but I'm a little obsessive about doing things right. So, whilst I'm not going to be weighing out dye, who can be bothered with that? Not I. I am going through and I am doing a stock take. I've still got two available. Yes, I am doing a stock take, and I'm going through the back end of Shopify. This might not be exciting for anyone. Apologies. But it's very useful in that you can see how many things you've sold, how many things you've got left. And there's an adjustment history for the inventory, so I can see how many I put in, which is very convenient. But unfortunately, it was a huge shop update because it was all the leftover stock. So it's going to take me a little bit, but that's also fine. Yeah, it's just one of those things. And yeah, it's just a faff. I know now for next year, to just have my shop update before the end of the financial year and like get rid of everything because it's ridiculous. Yeah, apologies for the audio change. I'm on my phone, which doesn't have a microphone attached to it, or external microphone attached to it. Chilling outside. I'm going to be making a D&D character because I'm meeting up with the lovely Katt tomorrow and a couple of her friends, and we're going to be going to Warhammer World in Nottingham, which I've never been to before, and also we're going to be playing D&D, which I'm really excited about. I'm really looking forward to it. Cutting half my face off. I think it'll be a really, really good time, and the sun's shining and it's glorious, so we thought we'd sit out here, have a cheeky bev. It's just a Diet Coke, it's not that cheeky. And then, yeah, I'm thinking Wild Magic Barbarian could be fun. Could be fun. Hey folks, so it's Friday today. I'm editing, and I haven't signed off the video. So I yesterday met up with Katt Weaver. You might watch her YouTube. If you don't, you should. She's fantastic. She does multiple different crafts as well as knitting. She's very into D&D and like cosplay and stuff like that. And yeah, so I met her yesterday in real life for the first time. It's very exciting when you get to meet your internet friends in real life for the first time. And then a couple of her friends that they play D&D together were also in Nottingham. Coincidentally, a work thing. They're from Canada. Amazing times. So I hijacked their meeting. I was invited. I didn't invite myself, but I hijacked their meeting. We went to Warhammer World, which is really, really cool. I couldn't film any footage inside of Warhammer World because they have a strict no video policy and photos are only for personal use. Therefore, I cannot share any of that with you because I don't want to get in trouble. But very cool. I'd never been before, so that was fun. And then we went to the Dice Cup, which is in Nottingham. It's just behind Victoria Centre. It's by the Victoria Centre bus station, if you know Nottingham at all. The Dice Cup is a board game cafe. And we rented out the RPG room and played D&D for 3 hours. Just a really fun one-shot inspired by Little Red Riding Hood, which was really cool. I played an Azamar Wild Magic Barbarian called Aolta, who somehow ended up being called Egg, so I just kind of ran with it, and yeah, it was really, really fun. It was a fun time, and it was my first time playing D&D with anyone that wasn't Mario, so great times, as in Mario DMing. I'm pretty sure this is the first time I've ever been DM'd by someone else. Maybe not. Sarah and Monica are the two people that came over from Canada. I forgot to share their names. And Monica paints miniatures. So She painted some amazing little goblins for us to use to represent our characters. They'd brought minis over from Canada, and the dedication to the D&D game, I'm obsessed. I love it. Egg was represented by a little burlesque goblin holding a couple of guns. Very fun. We all played barbarians, which made it even funnier. And yeah, I just had a really, really good time. I'm exhausted today, I won't lie, but I had an amazing time. So much fun. But I'm now about to fall out with my computer because it's not letting me edit anything, and it keeps freezing, and it just keeps I keep restarting it and trying to make it work, and then it works for a little bit and then it freezes again. So such is life, but that's fine. I might nip out whilst the computer's doing its thing and go to the bakery and get myself a nice little, oh, it's turned off, a nice little sweet treat or something, little croissant for breakfast. I'm starving. I realised I didn't eat dinner yesterday. It's what happens when too much is going on and I meet new people. I'm so like, so much is happening and then I forget to eat. It doesn't happen in the day-to-day life, but it happens at yarn shows and when I'm out meeting new people, apparently. Anyway, yes, so I might go and do that. Shorts are on, weather's lovely. I'm going to continue editing this because the computer's finally decided to restart, and then I'll go out while this is saving. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I've had a lovely few days. I still need to do the stock take of dyes and beads, but I've got the stock take done of everything else, so that's pretty good going. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please feel free to give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out and helps get my video out there a little bit more so we can have more people join the party that is the Corner of Craft. I have a Discord if you want to join, description box. I have social media if you want to follow me, description box. I didn't drink any tea on Wednesday. I've had 2 this morning. I'm making up for it today. I need it today. But I have a link to Bird and Blend if you want, description box. Anything else you think that you need to know? Description box. If you'd like to subscribe, that would be delightful. There's no pressure to, but I do post a video here every single week, so it would be lovely to have you along for the ride if you enjoy the ride that you're on. And leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you've been up to this week. Have you had a nice time? Have you played any D&D? Have you bought an advent calendar this year from a yarn dyer? Whose did you buy? Let me know. I'm incredibly nosy. Leave me a comment down below. We're all friends. And then if you want to be part of the Biscuit Brew Crew over on Patreon, we'd love to have you there. You get an extra video and a few other perks. So yeah, description box, as I've said many times. Thank you so much for watching. It's been lovely spending, well, the day with you, but it's actually technically been a couple of days with you. But thanks for being here, thanks for being wonderful, thanks for being you, and I'll see you very soon in the next video. Bye!